Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out 2-sentence horror. Story 1. When I bought the beachfront property I thought that I must be a lucky man to finally be in a position to afford this. I found out just how lucky I was when the first of the massive leviathans rose from the sea right in front of my home. Story 2. The judge shakingly asked what compelled you to murder all those innocent children. I answered, all babies go to heaven. Story 3. They put the cucumber, carrot and lobak on the table in front of me and told me to choose. When I realized I was selecting the vegetable I would choke to death on, I picked the carrot because the reminder of Mama's carrot cake would give me a touch of peace as my life faded. Story 4. They say dreams are an escape from reality. Story 5. My mother said I was going to take a shower. Naked and freezing, gasping for breath, and crying, I wish she were here with me now. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 6. I was so good this year, I hope he gets me a charm for my bracelet. Just a few more and I might be able to reach the window, to call for help. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 7. As the waves began hitting me I couldn't help thinking the movie was right. Fire in zero gravity is beautiful. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 8. I warned the authors that writing about ghosts with this ink would bring them into existence, but my warning only piqued their interest as they eagerly sought those paranormal experiences one after another. It was just a coincidence that I forgot to mention how they would become the ghosts themselves. Story 9. Our little girl is perfect, I exclaimed to my wife excitedly. Then she will be a perfect sacrifice, my wife replied with a smile. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 10. Most people can focus on only one thing at the time, and while they do they don't hear sound. You must be one of them, cause while you was reading this you didn't hear me entering your house. Story 11. My wife says my cooking has been so much better these last 2 years. But it's been 2 years since I started adding lethal doses of poison to her food. Story 12. I always wanted to capture Santa, so this year I spiked the holiday cookies I left out with rat poison. As I excitedly hurried into the living room, I saw my father lying on the ground, cookie in hand. Story 13. People say curiosity killed the cat. I killed the cat, curiosity only brought her to me. Story 14. I regretted not being honest with my mother when she asked if I was a virgin. But as the knife was placed against my throat I reveled in the fact that their sacrifice would be tainted. God is not merciful. Story 15. Her wedding dress that blows in the wind got painted in the golden sunlight. Then she herself painted the ground red as she hit the ground, the happy smile won her face. First time doing that, ow. Story 16. What did they expect to happen when all of the launch pads were on the same side of the planet? Sleep was no longer an option now that the sun was looking closer by the hour instead of the month. Story 17. Ooh, a pretty flower, my daughter says as she picks a flower from the ground. It was only until I saw the familiar blue liquid leak out of the ripped stem that I remembered why I hadn't gone outside in a while. Story 18. My neighbors above me are quite the delight. The cracks in the floorboards give me plenty of sight. Story 19. The stories of how those barbarians mercilessly slaughtered their enemies are well known in my tribe. But to my surprise and relief, after they captured me and my comrades, they bathed us, fed us, gave us beautiful clothes and even invited us to take part in some big celebration. Story 20. They said I was lucky to be chosen. As I sat at the cold bottom of a well I was sure I could hear the gods laughing at me. Story 21. When I explained it felt like bugs crawling under my skin, the doctors thought I'd used some well-known drugs. They kept ridiculing and dismissing me, until my skin ripped open and out crawled thousands of worms and beetles. Story 22. As my girlfriend was chatting on the phone, I told her that I'm not feeling well and heading to bed. She smiled at me, and said, "Yeah, you can come over, I think it's starting to kick in." Story 23. The family had a great day at Disney World. I always like to make sure their last memories are pleasant ones. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 24. I asked my husband where he was going to put the Babe Ruth autographed bat his dad got him for Christmas. "In your cheating face," he said as he took a swing his hero would have been proud of. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 25. My wife decided to tell me she was cheating only when she couldn't hide her sorrow over the suicide of her lover. I guess it worked, and I was in the clear. Story 26. When I was little, I thought meeting Santa was going to be fun. I didn't expect him to be driving a red and white flat panel van and offering me free candy if I got in it. Story 27. DEC-23. Every crewman on the submarine had their eyes glued to the depth meter as it plummeted to double, triple, quadruple their maximum depth. What should have been the sound of the hull creaking and crumpling under the pressure was instead a tremendous, bestial rumbling. Story 28. The softness of her touch is one of a kind. Something has been pretending to be her for over a year now. Story 29. Our snowball fight was interrupted by Charlie barreling out of the snow fort in terror, screaming, "It's under the snow, get to the house now." Those were his last words, for moments later two gargantuan, fur-covered, snake-like heads burst out of the snowy ground, and devoured Charlie as we fled for our lives. Story 30. For years I watched my father bury body after body, but he finally broke down crying and saying he will go to the police and tell them everything. And who will believe you, when you say your 10-year-old is doing this? I asked with a smirk. Story 31. I was given the gift of immortality. Sadly, so was the cancer. Story 32. Don't be afraid, I'm here to help, said the skeleton. I'll have you out of that revolting meat sack before you know what's what. Story 33. I kissed my sons goodbye and they soon drove away to their long-awaited vacation. But they never came back. Story 34. What was her name? Asked the Exith Gyan. I reply simply, Earth, as I load my final magazine. Story 35. I didn't know repairmen were working after dusk, please come inside. Turning around, I was surprised that the mirror only showed myself in an empty hallway. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 36. Today I finally decided to talk to my mom about my biggest secret. I probably didn't phrase it well since now we're hugging. She thinks I'm gay and I'm still not sure what to do with the dead man in my basement. Story 37. My sister and I always loved jump scaring each other as kids. One night, the floorboards creaked outside the bathroom, and when I opened the door and said, "I know you're there," her voice replied from downstairs. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 38. My foolhardy wish for eternal life proved to me that the heat death of the universe wasn't the end of everything. The only saving grace is that my frozen muscles are preventing me from gasping for the oxygen my body still so desperately craves. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 39. As bloodthirsty aliens were about to attack me, I raised my laser gun at them. But the gun wouldn't fire until I watch a 30 seconds long advertisement. Story 40. While my parents were away, I packed my belongings and escaped, finally free from their abuse. Only when they found me a few minutes later did I realize that I forgot to delete the location tracker on my phone. Story 41. I gave my wife a big hug and looked into her dazzling blue eyes before I left for work. I drove as far away as I possibly could instead. My wife has brown eyes. Story 42. I cut the head off the voodoo doll I was given by the shadow figure said was of my ex-husband. Then my daughter's head exploded. Story 43. The driver behind me had his high beams on as he tailgated me, but I was going fast enough. Then the headlights blinked. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 44. The labels NSFL gore death didn't deter me from clicking the post. As the traffic cam video started, I recognized myself entering the empty crosswalk. Story 45. Every night she saw the same man's silhouette at the window, always motionless. Until one stormy evening, she realized the man wasn't outside. The reflection stared back from within the room. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 46. Everyone was sad at Grandpa's funeral. Little did they know, I saw him lurking in the forest nearby. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 47. As the cryopods hissed open, the group awoke to an eerie silence surrounded by a vast emptiness. As they gazed into the void, they soon grasped the chilling truth. Their revival marked the lonely finale, witnesses to the desolation that lingered at the edge of existence. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 48. There's a man in the woods, I heard my students yell. I hope he didn't see me bury the body of the last student that said that. Story 49. Today my wife woke up and told me I had the most beautiful eyes. My wife went blind 15 years before I met her. Story 50. I know you're excited to be the first recorded biological male to get pregnant, stated the midwife. However, she continued, we can't give you a cesarean section, so the baby will have to pass down your urethra. Story 51. I noticed my new neighbor struggling to move a mattress into his home, but he assured me he was okay and did not need any help. I insisted on helping, but underestimated how heavy it really was and lost my grip at the top of the stairs, causing him and a naked body to go crashing down. Story 52. As I hear the crowd chant jump jump, I realize it's just as I was told, that people are beyond redemption. They grow silent in sudden shock as I sprout my wings and swoop off of the ledge, drawing my sword of fire. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.